rather stunning, or rather what Steve Gonzalez, Kaylee's father, had to say was rather stunning. Perhaps you had heard rumors that there was one roommate whose injuries were, different, more severe than the others. And the most popular idea is that one roommate who had more severe injuries than the rest was Maddie. Now, whether or not that is true, I absolutely could not say. I had only heard rumors up until watching this interview. And even in watching this interview, I want to know, what do you guys think of what Steve, Kaylee's dad, says here? Please leave a comment below and let us know what you think. We all want to know what you think.
And I've been told that there were differences in the way that the victims were killed. Some were more severe than the other. And this week we heard the target attack walk back and then reverse it back to it being a target attack. What can you tell us about the targeted attack?
They have told us that it was targeted, but they told us they can't tell who. We asked specifically, and they said, we'll try to get that information to you. And they got back to us a day or so later, and they said, we're sorry, we can't give you that information. But then a day later, we saw in the news that it was not targeted, or they think the whole house was targeted. But
I'll cut to the chase.
Yeah.
Their means of death don't match.
Maddie's
They don't.
and Kaylee's cause of death, it does not match based on the autopsy report.
They don't match.
Would indicate that one of them.
He doesn't have to
may
go
have
up
been
the steps. Let's stop playing games, guys. I need somebody to step up and be an alpha. Be somebody to be a leader. Don't make me do it. I don't want to do it. He doesn't have to go up the steps. Their points of damage don't match. I'm just gonna say it. It wasn't leaked to me. I earned that. I paid for that funeral. I paid for that. It's my right. It's my right. You ain't taking that from me. If you don't want to say nothing, that's your bet. But don't say I'm leaking anything. I paid that bill. Sent my daughter to college to get an education. She came back in the box, and I can speak on that.
I was also told from sources that are closer to an investigation, because there was a lot of roommates in there. And this was horrific for those roommates that were there as well.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
The preservation of this crime scene. Witnesses tell me that it may have well been preserved because the phone was passed around between one of the fraternity members and the girls. One of them unfortunately witnessed the death, the body there. Can you confirm that?
We cannot actually. We know nothing about that whole phone call. We've asked, and it's, I know that a lot of people want to know, but that's just not our agenda. We just are like, somebody called 911, somebody was reported unconscious. We don't really know. We've heard so many different things, and nothing has been clarified or been told to us at all. And I don't know if I personally have asked anything about that. I don't know if you have asked that, but we know that this is getting 3 weeks in, and it's starting to get, we don't want it to go cold. We're reaching out. I've reached out to friends down in California today that have connections that we're hoping to raise some money to get a reward, to get a private investigator.
Third party.
Why go the private route? Do y'all worry that at the end of this week that this case may be
100%.
cold?
We're scared.
When you tell me you don't want a photo up there with the reward offering information, that kind of sounds like you're trying to suppress the story. Why do you not need help? But hey, I could be wrong. And you officers, I apologize if I'm wrong.
Yeah,
I want to,
absolutely.
please forgive me. But if
I'm sorry. I just have to say, I love this when he goes, please forgive me. Please forgive me. Let's watch that again. This is done 60 seconds. And I have a lot to say, and welcome everybody. Please forgive me. Please forgive me. Come on, mouse work. Oh, yeah.
that kind of sounds like you're trying to like suppress the story. I mean, why do you not need help? But hey, I could be wrong. And your officers, I apologize if I'm wrong.
Yeah,
I want to,
absolutely.
please forgive me. Please forgive me. But if you don't have the information, people do know. If they don't, then the community, this is a community that is IT based. These guys live a digital footprint like we've never. All of us older people, we don't know how much that digital footprint could be helpful. So that's what we asked for. I hope like a DNA, a family lineage, if they could come out here and just start taking, this town is not that big. We could figure out this, and it might not be him. It might be a family member. We have family all going to the school together. You know, there's cousins, there's aunts, there's uncles. We could find this guy with volunteers.
Lineage companies
Put Idaho on the map.
We stand with the victims and their families in seeking justice for Ethan, Xana, Kaylee, and Madison.
All right. We will always stand with the victims and their families when justice needs to be sought in any situation. Yeah. So welcome, guys. I'm so glad that you guys are here. And yeah, I'll drop the link in a little bit. I wanted to let Justice A through Z come on if she still wanted to, because I know that she goes to bed early and I wanted to have her come up. We are talking about what we think about this case. And I mean, don't have a total difference of opinions because my mind is certainly not made up. I mean, I'll just let the cat out of the bag. I'm sure if you watch Justice A through Z's channel and definitely check it out, she thinks full on that Jack D, who's Kaylee's ex-boyfriend, is the perpetrator here in this case. I hope you don't mind me saying so, Justice A through Z, but since your lights are off, I'll speak for you. I don't want to wake up the fam. And personally, I was like not down with that idea at all for quite some time, and I have considered it, but I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced, but I think that there is. I'm paying attention to what is being said and what is going on with Jack D, who is Kaylee's ex-boyfriend, and Jack S, who was the guy with the hoodie on at Grub Truck. And now I don't know, have you guys been following what's going on with this Jack S guy? Because things be getting a little bit cray-cray with Jack S. I'm just saying, we're going to definitely talk about that. And I would love to know what you guys all think. Yes, it's your Justice A through Z says it's her opinion that it's him. Yes. Yeah. And hi, Muffy Dragon Slayer. Muffy agrees. Hey, Dave BMX11. How are you doing? It's nice to see you. Yarn and Mittens, my darling. How are you? I'm so glad you're here. Thanks for coming. Hi, Tony Smith. I love the comment you just put up about Kaylee's father. I totally agree with you. Don't make me do it. He's like kind of awesome. And I think he's definitely 100% going rogue. I think you're totally right. So Tony says here, Tony Smith says, after seeing pictures of Jack D, he is so friendly, slender, and cute looking. I can't envision Jack D as being responsible for the worst massacre in Idaho state history. Well, that's really interesting. I have another short little video I'm going to show you. I just put it together sometime before the live stream. It's not ready for like upload production, but just to give you a visual here. Something that, Justice A through Z and I were talking about was the way he appears when he's on stage, but just for these brief moments when he's at the memorial for the victims. And I'll play that in just a minute. Again, I want to know what you guys think. So, hey, my ADHD life, it's great to see you. Hi, Princess Megan Elsa. Good to see you too. Oh, and Kitty Witty. Oh, the band is all here, getting back together. It's great to see you guys. Thanks for being here. Let me just see who else is here. I want to say hello quickly, because I love you. Hey, Esther, how's it going? Nice to see you. Esther says, Dad's not lying. The youth of today is about social media. God bless him. I totally agree with you, Esther. I agree with every word that you've said in the comments. There is, a discrepancy, something else to discuss. And all of this is probably more than we can discuss in an evening because it's been a lot. In my opinion, the way that it looks right now is there's a question. Do you believe law enforcement? Or it doesn't come down to this question so often, guys. It's like just like a bad question to have to even pose. Do you believe law enforcement, or do you believe Daddy Steve, and people like Brian Entin? But then even when you talk about Daddy Steve and Brian Entin, the stories that they tell don't exactly agree. Now, I'm not like imagining that anyone's story is going to agree exactly, because if it did, then this crime would be solved, right? We would know enough where it could be solved, and it's not. So hi, Drench and Fang, how are you doing? Drench and Fang says, I think that they are worried that if they offer a reward, it will coerce a slew of people into contributing hordes of misinformation that will need to be tracked down and may produce good info too. I agree that I think there's always that risk, right? If you offer a reward. I think that, and I know that Daddy Steve hit on this. I personally think that the big thing with not wanting to post reward signs and whatnot in Moscow, Idaho, is because it is it's a university driven commerce there. Everything makes money is through and because of the university. And if you have, posters up, wanted, but even if offering a reward, but still wanted, person for quadruple homicide, that's not good for next year's freshman class. I'm just saying, that's not good for businesses in town. That's not good for the cafeteria, where they call them the university's food court, making money. That's not good for the bookstore. That's not good for the people that are all earning a living working at that university, which I bet is a very large portion of that community. I used to live in a university community, and everything is about that university bringing in dough, right? So, hi, Kevin. I was thinking about you. I wanted to send you a text, but I was just moving so fast, I couldn't even send you a text. Kevin, grab a stick of juicy fruit, Bashnek. I remember those great commercials. I want to grab a stick of juicy fruit right now. Hi, Jody is cool. Nice to see you, honey. Welcome. And then if I missed anyone, just say hi. We'll say hello back. So let me get down to current time here. Hi, Tony B. How are you? Riff Raff, how are you doing? Welcome. Nice to see you. Let's see. Okay. My feeling is, so Tony says, my feeling is both Jacks seem a little suspicious to me. I am so right with you, Tony. 100% with you on that. Riff Raff says to Kitty Witty, I'm leaning that way. I don't know why. I don't have all the facts. So I got to find out now what Kitty Witty said. This is like piecing together my own little mystery here. Kitty Witty said, I've never received a reward money. I know. Tony Smith says, I have been a tad disappointed with Brian Entin. He has been up in Idaho for over a week now, has given us very little new information. Too much standing in front of the house, rehashing old stuff. Well, maybe that's why. Oh, hi, Cecile. How are you? Welcome, darling. Sorry, one of my oldest moderators, has been with this channel longest, is what I mean. It's so nice to see you. Yeah, so maybe that's why Brian Entin had to say what I don't know. All right, so what Brian Entin says, let me see if I can pull up the video here really quick. Actually, chew on this for a second while I'm finding the other one. We're just going to take a look at the two Jacks, okay? Ooh, let's see, Jack number 1 and Jack number 2. Oh, I did one video about the Jack number 1, Jack number 2. You guys probably saw that. Just telling you that they do exist. I'm just going to start playing this other video, and then I'll explain it. I'll explain it afterwards. It's less than 3 minutes. All right. Now, in the beginning of this video, guys, is, for the people saying that, oh, he looked so sweet when he was up there on stage, and you may still have that opinion. I slowed down a part that, and the reason I did this in particular was I was planning on having Justice A through Z up. My bad, because I was cleaning the bunny barn and lost track of time. And she finds this portion visually to be particularly disturbing. So in the beginning of this video, it's only 3 minutes. There's just some pictures of Jack and Kaylee. And then in the second part, when it says Jack number 2, and those are pictures of Jack S. and some connections we've been able to make about him through social media, including the fact that he was friends with Jake, who is Maddie's boyfriend. If you're not following, guys, I'm going to give you visuals when this little video is done. And they were in the same fraternity together. In fact, that year, Jake, Maddie's boyfriend, did a bulk share of the recruiting. He was like the head of recruiting. So did he recruit Jack S., The guy with the hoodie at the grub truck spot? We don't know. Let me just pop this in here. Welcome, everybody who just came in. Great to see you. Welcome. Happy you're here. Please let us know what you think as we check out these things. These, I was going to say facts, but they're not all facts. Some of them are speculation and some of them can't be facts because everything can't be true all at once, right? All right. Back over in the right hand of the screen. Some people don't like that look. They think he's staring down Daddy Steve. What do you guys think? It plays again in a minute. Second time. Jack number 2. This is just video from Grub Truck. Security camera. Hi, Lala HK. Welcome. How are you doing? Good point, Esther. Absolutely. Princess Megan Elsa. This is true, Kitty Witty, as well. It might be nobody that we're looking at. It might be Ted Bundy or the Night Stalker or one of their associates. So these are all pictures of Jack number 2 here. These are pictures of Jack in his fraternity, Delta Tau. Right there, he's in the blue in the center, he's holding some girl's hand there. Is it Delta Tau? Yeah, Delta Tau. I'm sorry, I was a Delta. Oops, my volume. He's always wearing this gray suit, so you can like spot him in the suity pictures. So this is where he worked, Flatbread Neapolitan Pizzeria, pretty close to where the girls worked at Mad Greek, but everything's pretty close in Moscow, Idaho. This is a post that Maddie commented on, and she says 18 dogs. That was the recruitment class for Delta Tau Delta. Her boyfriend Jake, Maddie's boyfriend Jake, is following Jack S. Jake is, oops, it's the wrong slide. Oh, and then here's a picture of that Jake S had liked, that's of whoever posted it, and Xana. So these are just some of the ways in which you can see these people are connected, or Jake S rather, the hoodie guy at the grub truck spot is connected to them, that just that you can find through a quick glance at social media. So obviously, you know, when we see that people are connected in such a way through social media, we always know that there's something under the surface of that, right? There's always more. So yeah, so I'm going to I'll pop the link in chat if anyone would like to come up and speak your piece. If you want to come up, Yarn and Mittens, I always love when you come up. And we have a lot more to talk about. There you go. So that's the link for chat. The link for the panel that I just put in the chat. Let's see. So what do you mean here? Lala HK says, on the food truck footage, you see hoodie guy, aka Jack S, damn near almost tripped Kylie up. So what do you mean by that? Do you mean like literally? I didn't catch that. I saw when it looked like Kylie was taking a picture of, it almost looked like she was doing a selfie, but I think the way she was raising her camera, this Jack guy, the hoodie guy was right behind her. I think she was taking a picture of the hoodie guy. And so one of the things you have to wonder is, like many of us, Kaylee and her sister Olivia, who we've heard a lot from, are true crime sleuths. She was really into true crime. That's something that we know about Kaylee. So was she like, hip to the signs of somebody being a creepy ass stalker dude? And was she thinking much like Libby did with Bridge Guy? Like, I got to get a picture of him. He's like giving me the creeps, I mean, that just like gave me the chills just even saying that. It really definitely concerns me. So here, let me bring up Yarn and Mitten. So hi, Yarn and Mittens, honey, how you doing? Hi, Jody Landis. I didn't see I say hi to you yet. Nice to see you here, honey. Welcome. Yarn and Mittens, are you here?
Can you
She'll
hear
be
me?
here. Oh, now I can. Yes, I can. Yes. How you doing,
Okay,
darling?
so I'm going to load you down or load you up, however you want to look at it. You want to hear chat? Are you up for hearing why I don't think it's any of the schoolboys? You guys
Yeah,
good for the
we're down.
rundown?
I'm going to
Okay,
speak for
so I
chat because
listened
I
to-
need to hear this. Yeah.
So I listened to Duty Ron in the interview room and when they bring on professionals, so on and so forth.
Yes.
And there's a few things that concern me. One, just looking at commonsensical things like body size, knowing that Ethan was well built,
6'3".
right, and he was known for being athletic, even if tired, even if he had been woken up, he's still not going to be someone easy to defeat, on top of already possibly potentially having murdered 2 people beforehand. So that's just what we're looking at face on. But if we look at the K-bar knife example that they gave us, we're talking about a military type instrument that not only is it an implement used maybe for hunters or military excursions, but it's a weapon that people make a connection with. For instance, you'll hear some people have guns and they even give them names. This is something that is built up over time, not something that I would personally think of seeing a college kid doing. Looking at the way that they were murdered, I'm not thinking serial killers, somebody just taking advantage of a situation. It's too far off the beaten path. I think we're going to find that it's someone a bit older. I'm not thinking 22 here. I'm thinking a little bit older, up to 30. I think we're going to be surprised by it. I think it's going to be somebody who had desired or wanted one of the 2 girls, one namely, I'm really thinking, and has a history behind him that incorporates all these other things that are questionable. I just cannot see a glorified teenage boy. Okay, we're talking 2021. Boys mature slower than girls do typically. Just you would know all of this better than I would, Kelly, by profession. You're not looking at somebody who's thinking well and in the moment of intense rage,
Right.
someone who's exerting their all their physical means. They're having to think quickly on their feet. I just don't see an older teenage college boy fitting all of this. I think that we're all wanting a killer. We're all it's an egregious crime. And I think that they need to throw that net farther out. And I think that we're seeing Steve really getting to the point where he's going to lose it, because I also think that he's wanting that net cast wider.
Absolutely.
What do you think? I mean, do you think I'm off the wall here?
No, I don't think you're off the wall at all. I mean, just from a profiling perspective, if you look at from a statistical perspective, looking at past crimes that have been committed and crimes that could be comparable to this, although there's really no true comparables, I mean, to any crime, they're all, the loss of precious human life. But, say if we could, find the ones that were closest in all of the details, it would be extraordinarily rare for it to be a male that young, but it would also be extraordinarily rare for it to be a male over 35. So we do have a rather narrowed down age range if we're looking strictly at profiling that incorporates history, which it always does, statistical history. So, like, I think you definitely do make a good point there. And I think that, being 21 is on the early end of it. But do remember, Jack D is 26. Now, is that such a huge age difference? Not necessarily, but to your point that men mature more slowly than women. When you're a male that age, it is kind of a big difference as far as your, all of the things you just mentioned. You remember getting all your faculties together, right?
Right.
So does anyone, I'm seeing if anyone in chat has anything to say about that. Hey, Jennifer Bradford, how are you doing? At some point she said, very true, yarn and mittens. I'm not sure. And good night, Justice. When that was, let's see. Drench and Fang says true, but there are a host of other DNAs. But okay, we're talking DNA there. Okay, I'm not ready for DNA yet.
I also think that Ethan was a total surprise and shock for him. I don't think that he intended for Ethan to be there, and I think it threw him for a loop.
Yeah, I think it did too. I absolutely think it threw him for a loop for sure.
And that goes to speak to some were wondering about him hiding out in the house prior to the killings. I don't think so, because then he would have been aware of who was in the house and who wasn't. And
well, I mean, but yeah, so even if you're aware of who's in the house and who wasn't, he's still got to get out. I mean, basically, once you're in that house in that position, you're committed. You've committed.
Correct, but I think that the Ethan situation would have looked a bit different.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It couldn't have been a shock if he'd been hiding out in the house. He would have known that Ethan was in it.
Well, we don't know it's a shock. That might have been his best shot at taking on Ethan. We don't know, We don't know.
Well, I agree with you. I mean, we all know nothing about any of it. I 100% agree with you. I'm just thinking from, conjecture and looking at what we have.
Right.
I'm convinced that Ethan was a surprise that he didn't anticipate. And I also have a different opinion about the two girls in the not the basement, but the first floor than most people.
Wait, just 1 minute. Can you remember that? Do you think you can remember that for a minute? Because I want to. Okay. Okay. So a couple of things. So let's see. Where did you guys go? There you are. Okay. So Lola HK just says Jack S has pictures of two knives in his deer picture. One of the knives that looks like the knife in question. So I'm going to show that to you. And I was showing that to a couple of my colleagues today, and they said, yeah, to you, like, it looks like that, like, K-bar style knife. And, it does have the hilt and all of that on it that makes it, similar in some regard. But they said that this here that you're going to see in this picture, so that's Jack S there. This is a dead buck. If you don't want to see it, don't look. I don't like dead animals either. I'm a vegetarian, but okay, so there's the buck. Next picture is, and I got this off, I don't even know who this dude is, actually. Someone sent it to me. So you see this knife down here? It's above the 16 likes, the hearts there. It's like has a yellow handle. It's directly beneath the wording that says this is Jack S. Hunting. So there's the knife. So everyone can just take a look at it. So that's what Lola's talking about there. See it there? Are you guys, can you see what I'm sharing, by the way? Okay, I want to make sure. So that's people have been talking about. Obviously, he's, the deer is in a bad condition. So obviously that's the way it is. So, I mean, that is an interesting point. Now, one of the things that I also very strongly believe about the profile of this killer is that they must be somebody who is comfortable with and even even likes being around bloodshed. Okay. Whether that's human or animal. I mean, I don't really know. I'm certainly not adept or experienced enough in profiling, even though I trained in behavioral analyzation. That's, getting a little too specific for me. I just say what I feel comfortable in and feel certain in is that this person is comfortable in bloodshed, because you don't walk into a house with, in my opinion, clearly with the intention of taking lives, multiple lives, with just a combat knife when you're not confident that you're comfortable with bloodshed. You just like, that does not make any sense, you know? And the other thing I wanted to mention was, who was it? Muffy Dragon Slayer, was it you that said, well, did I start it? Wait, let me go up there. Yep. So Muffy says to Cecile, who I'm so happy is here, I believe whatever Cecile believes as well. I believe that the killer may have been hiding under Maddie's bed. It's just a gut feeling, but I do have a little bit of psychic ability and I have premonition dreams. Well, I totally believe you on that. And I mean, I tend to think that the killer came in after they were home. But again, that is a distinct possibility. Now, keeping what Muffy Dragon Slayer said in mind, I just want to play a little bit of this excerpt of the interview with Kaylee's parents, the one that I showed in the very beginning, where, you know, Steve doesn't want to have to do that. Come on, guys, get alpha. Because what does he mean by when he says they don't have to walk? What does he say? Walk up the steps or walk it up the steps. We have to listen really carefully. I'm like, is he? I've noticed that they as a couple, the mom and dad, get figures of speech a little mixed up, in my opinion. So is he just getting a figure of speech mixed up, or is he saying something more? I mean, it might kind of be a silly question, but if you guys wouldn't mind, I want to get your opinion. So I'm not sure exactly where this is. I'm just going to the beginning of when they're talking to him. I'll stop this after he talks about that. And the question is, we heard that one of the victims was more brutalized than the others, basically. Okay.
And I've been told that there were differences in the way that the victims were killed. Some were more severe than the other. And this week we heard the target attack walk back and then reverse it back to it being a target attack. What can you tell us about the targeted attack?
They have told us that it was targeted, but they told us they can't tell who. We asked specifically, and they said, we'll try to get that information to you. And they got back to us a day or so later, and they said, we're sorry, we can't give you that information. But then a day later, we saw in the news that it was not targeted, or they think the whole house was targeted. But
I'll cut to the chase.
Yeah.
Their means of death don't match.
Maddie's
They don't.
and Kaylee's cause of death, it does not match based on the autopsy report.
They don't match.
Would indicate that one of them.
He doesn't have to
may
go
have
up
been
the
a target.
steps. Let's stop playing games, guys. I need somebody to step up and be an alpha. Be somebody to be a
Like, what does he mean when he says he doesn't have to go up the steps? He says it again here.
leader. Don't make me do it. I don't want to do it. He doesn't have to go up the steps. Their points of damage don't match. I'm just gonna say it. It wasn't leaked to me. I earned that.
What the hell is he saying there? What do you think, Yarn and Mittens?
I'm not sure, because I'm not sure if he's misphrasing.
Right, yeah.
Because they're on the third floor.
Right.
So it doesn't make any sense to me.
Right. Uh-huh.
What does chat think?
I'm checking that out. Hi, Michelle G. Hi, Ara. How you guys doing? I'm going to put the link in if anyone wants to come up and voice your opinion. So type it. We'll see what they think. Hi, Erica. How are you doing? Welcome. Nice to see you. Erica Stroud. Oh, nice. Erica's first time in chat. Everyone be super nice to Erica. I'm glad you're here, Erica. Hi, Green Eyes. I'm glad you're here too as well. Welcome, sweetheart. Let's see. Let's see. Sorry, it takes me a bit to get down to current time and chat sometimes. Yeah, so I'm wondering, like, what does he mean when he says twice, he doesn't have to walk up the steps. I don't know. Oh, Esther says, yes, I noticed the parents' speech mixed as well. Okay, so it might just be that. Hi, Glenn Jammin. How are you doing? Glenn Jammin says, that was an odd comment. To me, it sounded like he thought the killer's business was on the second floor, but that makes no sense if indeed the girls were targeted, Maddie and Kaylee. I hope that he misspoke or whatever. Yeah, like that's where I'm at with that too. Like I just can't. Let's see. Hi, Double R. How you doing? Nice to see ya. Good point. Good point. My ADHD life says I assume a lot of people are in Idaho are comfortable with hunting. I bet they are. Let's see. Ara says the killer didn't have to go up the stairs, but he went up the stairs for his target. Oh. Thanks, Ara. The killer didn't have to go up the stairs because so this is another thing that's come out in the past like couple of days that many people speculated that the killer came in through the sliding glass doors, which are on the second floor to the kitchen, which I wholeheartedly believe. I feel certain of it. That's where Ethan was found, in front of the sliding glass door that was open when the roommates found him. One of them actually seeing Ethan. So it's been all but confirmed because police have confirmed nothing.
We saw the blood on the cabinets.
Right. Yeah. So it's been but confirmed that the person did come in through that second floor. Well, obviously they wouldn't come in through the third floor because there's really no way you could do that. So Ara's saying, what he's saying is he didn't have to go up to the third floor, but he did because that's where his target was. All right. I just want to listen to that one more time again because this has been driving me crazy. I've listened to it like many times. I have to know. If they're just mixing up their metaphors again, I'm going to be pissed. No, I'm just kidding.
And Kaylee's cause of death, it does not match.
Oh, and then also here, I just want to point out, they say the manner of death is different, for one of the persons. Well, we know the manner of death isn't different because manner of death is suicide, homicide, unknown, or there's a fourth. What is it? I don't know. I can't think of it right now. But they're not talking about manner of death. So then they switch to saying the word cause of death. I don't know if they're talking about cause of death either, because that's going to be, strangulation, blunt force trauma, drowning. And I imagine that the cause of death for all of these guys is going to have to be the same unless... I could imagine ways that it wouldn't, but I just don't think so in this case. I don't know. So they are using kind of improper terminology. So it really makes you have to kind of work to get at exactly what they're really saying. At least that's my opinion.
There's something on the inside there, I think, that we're not privy to.
Yeah.
And I think that he's hinting at something there. And it's just not going to make sense. And because it's something privy, why he spoke out, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah, that probably makes sense. All right. Let's see. Ooh. Sorry, I was reading some comments. So, okay. So let's just listen to this one more time.
Based on the autopsy report,
They don't match.
would indicate that one of them...
He doesn't have to
may
go
have
up
been
the steps. Let's stop playing games, guys. I need somebody to step up and be an alpha. Be somebody to be a leader. Don't make me do it. I don't want to do it. He doesn't have to go up the steps. Their points of damage don't match. I'm just going to say it. It wasn't leaked to me. I earned that. I paid for that funeral. I paid for that. It's my right.
Man, I feel just so bad for him.
So I have a question for you, something that I kind of pointed out.
Wait, hold on. I just want to read this comment really quick. Sorry. So Sandra says, he meant the killer was only after Ethan and or Xana. There was not need for him to go to the third level. So yeah, see, I interpreted it as possibly being that way. I interpreted it as maybe he was referring to law enforcement, saying the spokesperson for law enforcement, he's not stepping up to the plate, something like that, I don't know. Yes, Princess Megan Elsa, justice for the Idaho 4. Absolutely. Yeah. Sorry, honey, go ahead with what you're going to say.
And now I'm thinking through what Sandra was saying and I lost my train of thought. If the killer was only after Ethan or Xana.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's problematic, though, because of the degree to which those poor girls were slaughtered. I mean, They weren't an afterthought in their killing, that's for sure. That's what I was going to ask you was, we don't know factually, but does anybody else get the idea that the girls, when they speak to the girls not dying in the same manner, do you think it's possible that one of those girls died by manual strangulation rather than
Well,
by?
that was my first thought. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what occurred to me the first time as well.
Yeah. I don't know. And I mean, that could be, yeah. I mean, yeah. And if you were privy to that information, that could be what he's talking about. If here's the, there is no good news here, but if we had to pick good news, here it is. If Steve, if Kaylee's parents are privy to such information, we're gonna know soon because he ain't gonna be able to keep his mouth shut much longer. This man's about to explode, and I do not.
I'm afraid he's going to do something that's going to hurt himself, and I don't want to see him
I
do
hope
that.
no.
I don't want
I
to see him do something
no.
criminal that's going to get him. But
Mhm.
they're leaving him no room. I mean, they're making him work his own daughter's death.
I know. They're giving him no room. I know. Oh,
I mean, he's
God.
on the news begging, saying, don't make me be the alpha male. Don't make me do this. He's pleading with them.
Yeah, I know.
It's heartbreaking to sit and watch and know that.
It's totally heartbreaking. This one really got me because you can feel his emotion when, and God, he's just, and he doesn't all along. He's been, in the short time this has kind of been turning. He has tried so hard not to say a nasty word about law enforcement at every opportunity, but there comes a time when a person just can't take it anymore.
Yeah, you're right. You're 100% right. I've also wondered about the politics of it. Is it possible they have an idea of who did this and the politics of it are causing them to not act accordingly?
That would be fucking horrendous.
It would be, but look at what goes on with these secret societies within the sororities and the fraternities, and nothing surprises me anymore. How about chat? I mean, does it surprise any of you?
Wait a minute. Sorry. I don't know what.
Cecile, I think he was able to view when I don't know if you've been involved in this, but you're able to go in and view when you're paying the bill, you're able to go in and see your family, spend time with them under a sheet. So I think he got more than just info. For sure, if he requested to see them, they would allow that.
Jeez. Yeah, that might be, yeah, gosh. Let's see. I want to say, let's see. Oh, were you talking about me? You misunderstand, or were you saying something I misunderstood you or something, Muffy Dragon Slayer? I wasn't sure. I'm sorry. That's what did. Let's see. Oh, okay. All right. You guys are just working through some things. Okay. So Glenn Jammin says, here's a thought. If a killer were to come in all bloody, which I have no doubt in my mind he would be with that amount of bloodshed, he could tell anyone that he was hunting. It wouldn't have been a red flag. And when he drove to his parents and got there, and it was indeed hunting season in Idaho at that time. And we know he hunts like a lot of people in Idaho, probably as my ADHD life point out. Only 5 manners of death. Thank you very much, Glenn Jammin. I said 4. Thank you. Let's see. Oh, I know how you feel, Princess Megan Elsa. I really want justice here too. Oh my God. Oh my goodness. And Green Eye says, and this is of course a point. She says, of course the cops are not going to say much, though. It's part of the investigation. And I think that is definitely true. Like, let's think, we always hear that the cops don't want to talk about something just the killer might know, or only the killer would know. And yes, I guess that is, sound. police investigating. But, even think of something like the Delphi case where they were so close to the vest, they were giving out more details than this. Now, maybe they had more details to give out because Libby was a hero and took that footage of Bridge Guy. But, I don't know. I think that, I don't know.
I have a crazy question for you.
Yeah.
They pulled out over 4,000 photos of this crime scene, but only, what was it, 114?
103. Yeah, I was just going to, yeah, go ahead.
103 pieces of evidence. I don't feel like that's a lot.
It's not a lot. I researched that. I researched that actually because people were I questioned that. People are questioning that. I have some stats for you. So, and I was just, it's funny you said that. I was just pinning Green Eye's comment just as you were saying that. It says, from what I heard though, the police barely took the amount of evidence that they should. Well, two factors here. One that might be a mitigating factor for them, and I'm not sure if it is or not because obviously I don't know how the FBI on the scene crime lab works. But I think the reason there were so many FBI agents there is because they had their full capabilities of their mobile crime unit available at that scene, which is apparently, from what I understand, and I heard this from 2 FBI agents being interviewed, that's a very rare thing to do. They don't do it very often. Obviously, it's extremely costly. So that eliminates the need to send things out for testing, to send things to Quantico, wait to get them back and all of that. Still, as Drench Fang, I'm sure, will tell us, it takes a long time to get a lot of those specimens evaluated and analyzed, but it's a lot quicker than sending them out and sending them back. But still, yes, they took over 4,000 pictures, but they only collected 103 pieces of evidence, or was it, did it say specimens? I can't remember which one. But anyway, regardless of what it was, 103 specimens or pieces of evidence, if you were to look at a murder of a homicide of a single person who was, that was kind of like this messy, they would no doubt be taking many more pieces of evidence and or specimens, and also still be taking that crazy, insane number of pictures of the crime scene. Like the average for a single stabbing homicide is going to be close to 2,000. Right. So the fact that they took 4,000 pictures, I'm not going to be blown away by that. And only 103 pieces of evidence. I mean, when comparing to other crimes that appear to be of the same manner, that's not a lot of evidence that was collected. And I think that they need to answer some simple questions like, why was that? After all, they are servants of the public, of public safety and public health and wellness and good, and their community. Like, if these things that should have happened, obviously happened, didn't happen, answers are owed, especially to the victims' families. So yes, they have to keep some things quiet because it's an investigation, of course, but there's always a balance there, right? So let's see. Randy Hansen says, it appears to me that the killer... Hi, Randy. How are you? Welcome. I'm glad you're here. And hi, Rachel Steiner. How are you doing? Welcome. Glad you're here, too. It appears to me like the killer was very familiar with the house. If so, then the police have a problem with DNA. That's true as well. Yeah, I mean, yeah. They've already have a problem with DNA because apparently one knife was used to stab 4 people to death, right? And yeah, all kinds of other things, but even more so there. Definitely. I agree with that. Yes, Glenn Jamin says stabbing and strangling, for example, are different causes of death. Isn't that what I said? I may have misspoke. I do know that. I'm sorry if I did speak. Manner is going to be like homicide, accidental. I thought it was just homicide, accident, suicide, or undetermined. I thought there was only 5. Is there, or I'm sorry, 4. Is there 5? Are we sure? That's a quick Google away. Okay. Let's see. So Esther says, didn't law enforcement at the presser state that the perpetrator was very sloppy? What did that mean? And in that case, shouldn't there be more evidence? Well, unfortunately, the way I took it to mean was just that there was a lot of blood. I mean, because I started thinking this through, and I was thinking to myself, well, it doesn't mean that he, I can't even say anything because it sounds like I'm demeaning the seriousness of the crime. I hope that's what they meant, because if they meant anything else, then they were demeaning the seriousness of the crime. You know what I mean? But yeah, in a way, it would mean there was more evidence, like DNA evidence and whatnot, right? And print evidence and things like that. But in the other sense, and that's maybe more, mixed samples, right? I don't know. What do you think, Yarn and Mittens?
I've got two words floating around in my mind, and the first one is cluster, and the second one rhymes with buck.
Yep, that about sums this one up. Well,
and I keep having this image in my mind, of he commits his first two murders, and when I saw the blood on the cabinets in the kitchen, they weren't blood spatter, they were smudging from like contact and dragging. It looked like to me Ethan was the last one that he slayed on his way out the door. Did you get that feeling?
I don't know. I mean, I like because of where I believe Ethan was found, from what I've heard from people who I trust and believe know a lot more than I do about what actually happened. It seems to me it would have either had to be on the way in or out. I'm trying to think if I don't know. Nothing made me feel one way or the other. Natural. There you go. Sorry, there are 5. Natural. You're right. 5 manner. Thank you. Oh gosh. I don't know. We never deal with natural
Well, I'm
deaths in
thinking of the
crime world.
smudging, the way that the smudging markers were going. They seem to be headed outward rather than inward, but who knows in the middle of a fight?
I haven't even seen those pictures.
Oh, they're pretty they're jarring.
Where can they be found?
I'm not good at marking that sort of stuff. You usually have all of your informative photos and all that. You do a really good job at that. So I don't tend. Maybe I should start. Should I start doing that?
Yes. Fill up your computer with screenshots, just like mine, and then it'll stop working properly. It'll be awesome.
I don't mind. I can do that. No problem. I'm always coming across something. So
I know you do. You do.
I never know exactly where I should go, what I should do, and where,
Yeah, I know. Yeah, we got to find them. Because I hear people talk about them. I have not found them. I will find them though. I will find them, Lola. Don't you worry. If they're there, I'll find them.
Well, I can promise you that Ethan gave him 1 and 2 for. He didn't escape without any injuries. That's for sure.
Based on what?
The mess.
Yeah, gosh. Yeah. Oh gosh. Drench and Fang said that, or Ethan was trying to escape while mortally wounded. That Drench and Fang, that was my first hunch.
It looks like it's being dragged. When you get it is like maybe 2 feet up. You get a lateral drag, and then you get what I would assume to be maybe an arm. You get the sense that there's some sort of pulling motion or something, pulling him off his feet, maybe, I don't know. But, I mean, that's a heck of a lot of conjecture, but I think Ethan gave him a run for his money, and I don't think he was expecting it. And I honestly think that Ethan saved the lives of the 2 girls downstairs. I think because of that unexpected ordeal, he didn't continue on. I think those 2 girls downstairs would have succumbed to the same thing everybody else did if it weren't for Ethan. I really believe that.
Yeah. Wow. Oh gosh, that's intense. Yeah, I mean that's very possible.
Did you get a chance to hear Xana's mother speak?
I did. Yes, I did. Yeah.
What were your thoughts on that?
My thoughts on that were, gosh, didn't I play what I thought was the important part of it last live stream? I can't even remember what it was. What are your thoughts on it? Get me started. I know she said some interesting things, but I can't recall what I thought was the most poignant part. I've been consuming so much information.
I actually had a lot of respect for her. In the beginning, there were a lot of unkind things said, which I didn't like, because we're all human, and she just lost a daughter regardless of her.
Yes, we don't talk about those unkind things here.
Precisely. And I actually had a lot of respect for her. Questions were asked about what had been said, and she said regarding what her other daughter had said, and she said, you know what, I'm going to leave that to her, what she said or her words, she owns them. And I was really proud of her for all that she's been through, going through, and we don't even know the half of it, and
Right,
losing a child. I was really proud of her. She was not what I was expecting and what the online community had geared us for. You know what I'm saying? And it goes to show you just don't know. All this conjectures really run at a deficit a lot of the time.
Yeah, I agree. Absolutely. Yeah. Yep, I totally agree. I very much agree. Oh,
Oops.
well, here, let me. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah. I'm not sure. How do you pronounce this name? It's Lalahk. Is it supposed to be Locke?
And I just say La La HK. Is that right? I don't know. Am I saying your name right?
I never know what to do with that one.
I just La La.
Yeah, Green Eyes, I did too. I also
Yeah.
felt that same sense of grief for her. She sounds totally broken. And I was proud of her. She handled herself very, very well, considering the whole big picture. All right, Glenn Jammin wants you to sing it, Kelly. Sing it.
I can't sing on demand. I can't. This case is too serious. I drop my singing when we talk about this
It's
one.
$1 in the bikini first.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, well, this was important information. Tony, I was thinking about that, but I think there was something else that really struck me that I thought was a little more not as talked about as this. But Tony Smith points out Xana's mom most important info was that Xana's door lock was repaired by her father the weekend before the worst massacre in Idaho state history. Yeah, that is important. So, I think it was during the last live stream we were talking about, were they afraid of something? And that's why he was there repairing the lock, because it seems like that could be very possible. Or was it just coincidence? I just don't believe in so many coincidences, so I just ruled that out immediately. But could it be because, remember, there was this skinned Australian shepherd just a couple weeks before this horrific crime that was found not too far away from them? That would freak the fuck out of me. If there was a skinned pet dog in my neighborhood, I would check all my locks too.
Do you think it's connected, Kelly?
I mean,
not what the news thinks. What do you?
Yeah, I kind of do. I mean, that's
such a
too. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how. Yeah.
How can it not be? How do you get to insane measures to such a degree right next door to each other and not have them connected?
I know. Okay. There's your answer.
Is Ara still with us?
Ara.
She usually has more to put in on this type of stuff.
She does. Come on up, Ara, if you're there. If you're there, Ara, answer. Monica. Hi, Monica Kelly. Welcome. How are you doing? Monica says somebody was already messing with a lock before the murders. We don't know. All we know is that Xana's mom said that the dad was there the weekend before fixing one of the locks. It was in the context of Ashley Banfield asking her if there were the combination locks on the doors. And so she disclosed that information. So yeah, I'm so glad this channel knows their Jacks. Oh, we know our Jacks. And by the way, guys, I know there's a Jack K. I know. I have so many comments telling me about Jack K. I know Jack K. I just don't find him to be suspicious anymore. So I don't find the whole purpose of talking about this is for justice. I feel convinced he's not suspicious anymore, so I'm not going to talk about him. If I feel convinced otherwise, I'll start talking about him. If you don't agree with me, that's okay. But, I'm just trying to cut the fat and get to justice for these victims and their families, Yeah. Tony says so many people start off hurting animals and move on to people. That's exactly why I think that why I feel like there very well could be a connection. Gretchen Fang also says, the downstairs also seems isolated by the mounded earth under the house. I'm not sure how much the bottom floor is directly below the living room on the second floor. It's not exactly below. It's a little offset with interior stairs going up to it. But it does seem like it could almost, it does seem like the first floor is a bit separate from the second, third floor. Like the second, third floor are closer friends. And the first floor is, you know, they just have lunch with it. I don't know. Lala says, the only Jack we need to worry about is John Jack, Jack S. Yeah, possible. Yeah, I don't, yeah. There's, you know, there are a lot of things. I'm not including this, like, I haven't included this in my videos or anything because I try to go on as much facts as possible, but there are a lot of things out there being said about this John Jack guy. Like, he was kicked out of the, what's the bar that they went to that night? The corner bar, whatever is that was called, because he was being creepy with girls. He, like, all these things that he was kicked out of his fraternity because of poor behavior. I personally don't think that's true because I found very recent pictures of him in Tau Delta pictures. So, you know, when I start looking into that stuff and I find that some of it just isn't lining up, I just don't include it in my material because I'm not, again, the point is justice. I don't want to perpetuate rumors. I want to try to, you know, boil down to what's important. Jody is cool says, yeah. The dog was a warning to the unsuspecting victims, in my opinion. Yeah.
I think it was a practice session.
Yeah. I think possibly both. Hi, Daylight Disinfectant. She says, Daylight Disinfectant says Jack D could still be a person of interest. Yeah, people say so many things that are not true. I know. It's annoying, isn't it? Super annoying. Yeah. I hope that they are, Randy. Randy makes a really good point saying anyone who's lived in that house in the past 10 years should be a suspect. I totally agree. I mean, it is a unique layout. Again, it was a party house reportedly by lots of people. There were people in and out of it all the time. So there could be a lot of people that know the layout, but, you know, you got to start somewhere.
I agree with you, Draken Fang. I agree. If the intent was to kill them, then there's no need to warn them. And then practice seems more likely.
Well, warn, or maybe I would have used the term, you know, messing with them, maybe, or maybe a little of each, or maybe just
scaring them, you mean?
Yeah. Or scaring people in general. I feel like if you are someone who's going to murder 4 people, you like to have power over any people, you know?
Yeah, but do you want people to have a heightened sense of awareness before you're coming in the middle of the night to take their lives?
If you're a killer, bigger thrill.
But the fact that he's coming in the middle of the night shows that he wants the upper hand. He wants them at a deficit so that he can gain control quickly.
Well, he has to have them at a deficit so he can gain control quickly. Because if you're going to be a person with a knife trying to overpower multiple people, you know, you have to gain your
right. But
advantage
if you're
somewhere.
warning them and having them out buying cameras and all kinds of apparatus to help them, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Rachel says, I think the killer gets a sick pleasure from the shock value. Yeah.
It's hard for me to even believe that these people are human beings. In order to do this, what does it take to fracture and break a human mind to be able to function like this?
I know. Yeah, Jody is cool. Clarified. I know what you're thinking. Jody is cool. She says, not a warning so much as a sick game in a murderer's mind. Exactly. The details of the dog were awful. Yes. Okay. Who drew the picture of the so-called waitress with the word Tex and something else scribbled out on it? I don't know. I saw that on Sweetie Pilo's, or somebody here gave me the link to Sweetie Pilo's. I haven't gone back and watched it. It's a person named Dylan who is in a fraternity. We need to figure out what fraternities he's in, if he's connected to any of these Jacks or any other people. Hi, John McSmith. How are you doing? Yeah. Esther says, so what facts do we know? This is a good question about Jack John S., either relating to this case and or before the morning of November 12th? Well, we do know that he has a connection to the victims through Maddie and through Maddie's boyfriend Jake's fraternity. Maddie's boyfriend Jake was the pledge master of Delta Tau Delta, and just that pledge year before, John Jack S. Jesus Christ, it's like a tongue twister. Pledged that fraternity. Maddie had commented on some of his pledge posts. There was a picture of Xana and another girl in one of the parties around pledge time in the fraternity house that was on social media. I do know those connections. I do know those to be true because I've seen and or found the information with my own eyes and or brain, and dogged search methods. Google, and anything else I've heard about what was up with him at this point is speculation and conjecture. So do you know anything else, Esther? I definitely want to know. And as soon as I find anything that can be in any way corroborated, I will definitely put it out there. But right now I feel like, yes.
Keep going. Any way you feel about
what? Oh, I just feel like there's a lot of, there's too much fluff out there right now. I'm kind of letting the fluff settle.
Randy's wanting to explore more than one killer, perchance.
It's possible. I mean, I know even the authorities have said that. I haven't personally seen anything that they've put out that really indicates that, but they haven't put anything out. So,
Well, he's saying that maybe we have a Charles
Manson
Manson type of killing where there's more than one killer.
Right. Well, and that was kind of the idea with that person who, yes, daylight disinfectant. Jack S. lives across the street, and he's a hunter. Both are very true. Yes, that's also true about Jack S. Yes, he's a hunter. He has a picture of the buck that he killed and gutted with a hunting knife that has a similar but not same style to it as a combat knife. We do know those things. That's right. He works at that pizza shop that's close to Mad Greek, but everything is kind of close in Moscow, Idaho. And as far as it being a Charles Manson type of murder, that's something that came up when we were looking at those creepy ass pictures that somebody drew of clearly a very troubled person whose name was apparently Dylan, who's in a fraternity. There was also a picture of this guy with a K-bar combat knife. Remember that? And a Halloween party. There's just so many. Yeah. There's a lot out there.
Who's the owner of the Mad Greek restaurant?
I don't know. Wait, see, where's the source that Jack is in Africa? Okay, so that's another thing. I didn't even know if I was going to go there because there's just already so much information. So it was a New York Time Post, must have been Post article. Hold it, I have it here somewhere. Want to read a couple of comments, darling? If I can find this article.
Sure. So we have here Lala HK. Mm-hmm. We know that Maddie cussed him at the food truck. I guess referring to what we were discussing before. Mm-hmm. Daylight disinfectant. There's no shortage of suspects. I don't know about that. I mean, I think it depends on what you're looking for. Look at the area. I mean, not expecting to find a lot of them to be hunters. I mean, I don't think that being surprised by hunters in that area is much of a surprise.
Yeah.
Green Eyes, I thought that was an old vacation. I'm not sure what she's referring to there. Jody, it's cool. I immediately thought of poor Sharon Tate and her 4 friends. I think poor, but I don't think I think that if you've got that kind of traffic with that amount of people, I think that you're going to have more recognized outside. I mean, the back area was very dark, but the front part was lit. And I think if you've got, especially in that age range, I have the hiccups. Great. I think that that's going to cause a lot more of a commotion, don't you?
Yeah.
Kenra extradites, but if he knew they were coming for him, it would only take 30 minutes to get to a nearby country that doesn't extradite. Also in third world countries, his parents could bribe, says Christy D. Green Eyes, South Africa. The fact he's in South Africa. People were seeing old pictures of him in South Africa.
No, there was an
More-
article from like yesterday or today. I don't know, saying that I don't know. I don't want to misquote it because there's already been a bunch of misinformation out. I'm still looking for it.
Let's see, Esther. Do we know for sure that Jack S. was trying to run into Kaylee at the food truck? Or was he interested in Maddie? And she's referring to Lala HK.
Yeah.
And Jody is cool. Such a great discussion. Thank you, Kelly and Yarn and chat.
Yeah, thanks, Jody.
Yeah. Jody is cool. Thank you very much. Agape Love, Jack S., a.k.a. Hoodie Guy, equals kicked out of the bar, kicked out of the fraternity, well connected with family from money from Boise.
Okay. Well, yeah, kicked out of the fraternity and kicked out of the bar. Those were some things I heard. I mean, are we sure about those things? Are those things confirmed? That's what I want to know.
We've got John McSmith rolling his eyes at Jody. We can count on John McSmith to keep it going.
I love John. Don't roll your eyes at Jody, John. How many
No
times do I
snack
have to
time
speak
for
to
you.
Oh, John. Oh my gosh.
Lala HK says that it's on the video footage from the food truck's live stream.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think I know I feel ya. I don't want to have to go through and try to find it right now. I'll definitely get it up sometime. But
well,
there's- go ahead.
Rachel Steiner says it's really bothering me that there was so much blood. Where are the killer's clothes?
Right.
How could he have gotten far or anywhere for that matter covered in that much blood? Doesn't seem possible. I've been thinking about Tyvek type stuff. Things that he could just rip off, wad up, and stick in a bag.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Uh-oh, Jody's getting feisty. She's rolling John's eyes back.
That's funny.
Okay, that's true. Draken Fang, blood on black clothing just looks wet, especially at night.
So it said Jack is he followed Maddie on Instagram, John Jack. Lived a 30-second walk up the hill from the house. Yeah, I don't know. I think it was, I don't know. I don't know about the Africa thing. I'm not going to go there because I'm just not ready to. Yeah. I'm questioning some of the sources. So yeah, I don't know. Let's see. Christy D says, did you read what his previous coworker said about Jack K? When they worked at the bakery, she slapped him because he was so aggressive with her. Yikes. Yeah, I agree. Rachel says, and his hands have to be cut, right? They must have been bleeding. Someone knows this guy. I completely agree with you. Now, some people said, oh, he had this like, combat style knife. It's going to protect your hand from slipping. Not if you're stabbing to death for people multiple times. It's not. You're going to have an injury. You're going to be bleeding. If you don't have your own blood on you, which isn't going to happen, you are going to have your own blood on you, by the way. You're going to have other people's blood on you for 100% sure. Yes, somebody knows who he is. I agree with that. I absolutely think so.
Do you think that he ran out of town using Thanksgiving as the excuse that a lot of the kids do? I think he did.
Yeah,
He
possible.
need recoup time. He's got to hide those injuries.
Yeah. And George Frank says, no guarantee that his hands were injured. If he planned enough to bring a knife and he is a wherewithal to wear gloves. But still, I still maintain, I still think he was most likely injured unless he was like a professional freaking ninja. I mean, he had to have. And the police describing this, oh, sorry, that was like a mandatory yawn. Crime scene as being like so sloppy. He had to have blood on him. There's just like no way. There's no way.
Yes.
In my opinion. I mean, I don't know. I've never.
He had to have had a substantial amount of blood on him.
Yeah, I would think so. I mean, yeah. I don't know. Yes, I totally agree, Randy Hansen. Again, bringing home the point. Murder could not have been committed by someone who is not familiar with the house. Odds are the victims knew the killer very well. Hi, Michelle G. How are you doing?
I wonder if they checked out any of the professors.
Yikes.
That's kind of where my mind keeps going. Just a bit older, maybe 30, 32. I can't do this 22-year-old boy. I can't. It's too complicated and look at him. He's getting away with it. I mean, look how long we've gone at this point. And they were saying that he was sloppy. I mean, they said that the scene was sloppy. They had a lot of evidence, so they claimed. And yet here we are, we don't even have a suspect.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. You guys are all bringing up good points in chat too about how he could have not been so messy. So I don't know. I don't know about that. Oh my goodness. Well, I think I'm going to actually have to wrap up soon because I need to get a good night of sleep tonight because I have been exhausted, not sleeping enough, don't want to get COVID again.
No, you won't. We need you well.
Yes. But you guys are making some really good points here. I really very, very much appreciate it. Yeah, that's very good stuff. Let's see. Certainly no one has yet called in from the community. Let's see.
I'm going to go ahead and jump down, Kelly, while you're closing up shop.
Okay. Thank you, Dawn. Thank you so much for coming up. I really appreciate it. Yeah.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, you guys are awesome. Thank you so much. So, all right. Just as I'm closing out here, I'm just going to play one of the videos I uploaded about, let's see, which one do I want to go with? I don't know. You know what? We didn't talk about the 911 call at all. It's kind of maybe, I don't know, old news to you guys, but this, in case you aren't aware of this is why I believe Ethan was found where he was, and, explain some other things. And just from other people hearing this same thing from other sources and sources. I heard this from source. And I just think this is true. It's starting to almost, in my mind, become just a fact of the case. Certainly yet not in any way conceded to by law enforcement, just to be clear. This is just my belief. And the belief of many others. Let's see. Actually, let's talk about the two. Well, I'll do the video. We're going to talk about the two jacks instead. Not the one I played earlier, though. Stay with the theme. Stay with the theme, Kelly. Just stay with the freaking theme. Okay, I will. Okay. And then I'll be signing off because I got to go to bed. Thank you guys, though. Thank you so much for being here. And Cecile, if you're still here, it's really great to see you, honey. I haven't seen you in a while. Thank you for everyone for being here. You guys are awesome.
Who are the two Jacks, and is one of them guilty? Hoodie guy connections to the victim. I didn't really get into this video though.
I want to establish something to make the content of this video as clear as possible. There are two Jack in this case of the University of Idaho murder. I'm not going
Thank
to
you, Glenn
use
Jammin.
their
Thank you very
last
much.
names. If you wanted to know their last names, you can easily find them with a quick search. So there is Jack D, who is Kaylee's longtime boyfriend.
Yeah,
So
your
that's
minute's
Jack
great.
number
Thank you,
one,
Deb.
Jack D, longtime boyfriend of Kaylee. Meet Jack number two. There was John Jack. You also need to know, and I'm going to go into a lot more detail about Jake and his connection to Jack number two in my next video, which is coming out later today. Maddie's boyfriend is named Jake. So we've got Jack number one, Jack number two, and Jake. Jack, the ex-boyfriend of Kaylee, John Jack, the hoodie guy at the grub truck, and then Jake, Maddie's boyfriend. So why are all these J's even important? The two Jacks were at some point persons of interest, and depending on the source you go to, they might still be persons of interest, or one might still be person of interest. During the interviews, the Concaves family talked about Jack, Kaylee's boyfriend, a number of times and made it very clear that that is who they were talking about. Kaylee's boyfriend, particularly Kaylee's mom, talked a lot about Jack. They said that they stood behind him 100% and a lot of other things. Listen to the videos that are upcoming. Let us know what you think. Think for yourself. And then Kaylee's sister also references the phone calls to Jack. But when she's talking about the phone calls to Jack, it's not 100% clear if she's talking about Jack, Kaylee's boyfriend, or maybe another Jack.
Called Jack 6 times between 2:26 a.m. to 2:44.
Does not make it clear that she's talking about Jack D, Jack number one, Kaylee's ex-boyfriend. What Kaylee's family does make clear is how they feel about Jack number one's possible standing as a suspect in this horrific crime. Go ahead and take a listen to the video excerpts from several interviews with the family members and leave a comment letting us know what you think.
We want to do everything that we can do in our power to get justice for your daughter. We keep hearing this name, Jack, and phone calls going back and forth. Can you tell us anything about that?
We love Jack. Absolutely love Jack. We stand behind Jack 1,000%. Jack was Kaylee's boyfriend for many years. They just recently broke up. There was no animosity at all. It was a breakup on Kaylee's point. It was not, they still talked every single day. Kaylee just thought that she needed a little break. They were on the mend of getting back together. Kaylee talked to Jack the whole time she was here for that week and a half.
One of her last messages, she reached out to Jack and said, Jack, get back to me. And he didn't. She goes, we share a dog together, which they did. She's like, you need to reach out to me. So
please come over. She was wanting Jack to come over. Jack is not, they're wasting their time with Jack. And Jack is just as distraught as we are. Jack is our family. Jack is 100%, 2,000% our family. And Jack is with us, and we stand behind him 100%. We're supporting him, and we know in our hearts and our minds and our souls, in the depths of our souls, Jack is hurting. And Kaylee and Jack would have eventually been married. They would have eventually been married, and they would have eventually had children together. So to say ex-boyfriend, it was Kaylee just being a brat, being like, I just need a break. But Jack was in her heart, and they were close to getting back together. And that was just Kaylee being Kaylee. So absolutely, Jack is, no.
We don't think he's a suspect.
At all.
Wow. Ma'am, can you tell?
I am sure it is frustrating. Your family has been very outspoken in support of Jack. He's Kaylee's ex-boyfriend. And on the Moscow police website, he is not listed, notably, as someone who has been cleared in the investigation. To your knowledge, is that significant?
No, I don't personally think so, because I think that there's the entire rest of the world that's also not on that list of people who have been cleared.
Right.
Including Maddie's boyfriend, including any associates of Xana or Ethan that might not be involved, I don't find that significant at all.
And there were a number of phone calls to him that night, and you say that would have been typical behavior for Kaylee, that she often would call friends, folks, for a whole bunch of things.
At any time, yeah. Multiple times until I would pick up at 3 a.m. and be like, Kaylee, what?
Yeah.
And some of the last footage of her at that food court, she's on her phone 24/7 filming the whole thing. So she lived on that phone. So
yeah. It sounds like you're saying that the delays here in sharing information.
They were not together. And we don't know anything of Ethan and Xana. We do know about Kaylee and Maddie.
And some of the time stamping afterwards, that your sister was making calls, right?
Mm-hmm.
She was making calls as late as almost 2 o'clock.
Yes.
How do you know that?
So she was on my mom's cell plan. So
we pulled my cell plan.
On Sunday, I was able to pull those cell records.
And you could see that she was calling somebody out.
Yeah.
Does it seem like they may have been involved, or does it seem like
no, not at all. Kaylee had no shame in kind of power calling, so it fits Kaylee.
Yeah, and we know who she was calling, and this person is, and this person was asleep. Unfortunately, was not getting the calls, and it was, I don't know, a few calls for half an hour. She called him a couple times, but no. It was not, we do not believe she was calling him for help. We believe that she was just calling him to come over. If Kaylee was in imminent danger, her or Maddie, they would have called 911. They would not have been calling this person. Yeah.
And that was around 2.
Yes. So at that time we
started
believed
around 2:30.
Yeah. We believe that the girls were just fine.
So from those phone records, it looks like the girls may have been alive around 2:30.
2:30 is what, the last call?
No. The last call is shortly before 3 a.m.
Short. Yeah, that's right. 2:50 something.
2:52.
Yeah.
Good point, Lala. I was going to just peace out, but
Maddie
I was just thinking that too. So Lala says, yeah, this has always been a little bothersome to me too, Lala. Hi, Caleb. How are you doing, sweetie? We're just ending this, but I'm really happy to see you. But hi there. So Lala says, wasn't he like 5 hours away? I could be wrong. Apparently, from what I've heard, his alibi was that he was in Boise, which is 5 hours away, that night. So she can't be, well, I guess she can, but those two bits of information seem a little incongruent to me, that she was calling him, power calling him incessantly for him to come over. But, if they were that close and they were talking every day, wouldn't she know he was 5 hours away? I don't know. I would think so. Yeah, he does. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Brian says this is a murder massacre. One does not get locked up if they did not answer their cell phone. Absolutely. Hi, Anaphylaxis. How are you doing, darling? All you great people coming in right now. I'm actually just ending because gotta go to sleep. Gotta get up to work for work in the morning. But we're gonna have another live stream on Friday night. Back to the Friday night live streams for sure, if not sooner. Yeah, they both live really close by. Like right in the student apartments nearby. Yep, both Jack S and Jack D. Yep. Hi, Leah S. Says, why is nobody talking about the 4chan post, which looks like to be the killer? I don't even know who that is. I don't think, unless, or I think I saw something. I didn't know it was like a serious thing. I'll have to look into that unless you want to tell something about it. Thank you, John McSmith. You're a sweetheart. Yeah, we might be messing up the Jacks again, Esther. I'm not sure. Esther's policing the Jacks. I like it. Yeah. Both do live very close by. Yes. I'm sorry. Well, when I say both, I mean Jack D and Jack S. Jack's a real hassle, big time. Hi, Melanie. How are you? Says, do they have Jack, the boyfriend's DNA? I don't know. Oh, Yeah, I don't know about that. She says that he posted a picture of what looks like to be Kaylee through her window in a black bra at 3:10 a.m. Yeah, you know what? I've come across these, what I consider to be these kind of, and they might not be peripheral social media posts and bits of information. They might, some of them or one of them might become central to the case. But at this time, just from my purview, there's so many of them swirling around, and so many people are sending me things. There's so many things on other channels, and trying to verify what I'm able to, and like bring what we can verify. But I know that's not always possible. I did hear that was out there, though. Thank you for bringing that up, Leah. Has anyone entertained the thought of a closer connection to the victims? What do you mean, Caleb? Like, how so? Yeah, it was a party house. Yeah, oh, it is going to be a huge problem, DNA. Damn Skippy, it is. Huge. Rockaway's got to be the one with the red hair, right? I don't know. It's always the one with the red hair, right? No, that's not a thing, is it? No, I'm just kidding. Jack. I don't know. I don't know. They both are a little funky looking at times. Daylight disinfectant. I know, it's so sad, Melanie. You're totally right. John Jacob Jinkler. So funny, Lala. Oh, a closer connection. Wait a minute. How did you understand what Caleb was saying? But I didn't. So Brian said, Caleb, yes, I have all along. I think it's drug dealing via Greek life. Hi, Agape Love. How are you guys doing? Oh, you wonderful people coming into chat. And I have to go soon. I don't know. I didn't hear about that, Agape Love. Okay, gotcha. Okay, so was that the Sweetie Pilo one? Was that the one with the drawing of the picture of the waitress that had text on it? Was that the same person? Leah S. Yeah, that is really weird. I fully agree with you on that. Yeah, that stuff that yeah, I suggest all you guys watch Sweetie Pilo's video. I can't remember which one it is, but she's good anyway, no matter what she's talking about. Yeah, it was creepy as shit. The way her sister talks about it, just saying, Yeah. I think it's really weird. And I'm not saying that I think that the perpetrator, the murderer, the piece of shit was Jack, the ex-boyfriend, but the way that the mom particularly defends Jack, the ex-boyfriend, I think is a little strange. I mean, psychologically, there's a few ways that you could like certainly see how this could happen as well. But, I did notice, of at the memorial, when the husband spoke, Steve spoke, and then she spoke, and they asked Jack if he wanted to speak, and he obviously said no. And Steve had like a look. From a behavioral analyst perspective, I kind of have some opinions on that, but I'm going to do a video about that in the next few days, so wait for that to come out. The mom kept looking over to Jack. She was kind of like almost preoccupied with how he was doing when Jack was on one side of her husband and the kids were I'll just play it. I don't know. I mean, I just thought it was a little strange. Does it mean anything necessarily? No, definitely not. It's just weird. Yeah, Jack D. Yeah, his hair. I know. Steve is our only hope. I know. Steve's about to blow a fucking gasket too. I hope he doesn't. Steve, we are with you. I wish I could do something to help them. Seriously. Brian says, yes, the Steve look at Jack. I replayed it like 8 times. Okay, so you caught that too. when he declined speaking, right? Is that what you're talking about? Yeah. Yeah. Oh, cool. Brian says, interesting. We are both behavior folks. Oh, that's awesome, Brian. I didn't know that. Well, thanks for being here. Yeah, I'm a behavioral therapist and I'm a behavioral analyst. Right now I work with troubled teenagers. Yeah, let me just play that right now. Hi, May. Yeah, maybe. Jack the Ripper. That look was stunning. Okay, all right. Yeah, let's play it. I'm glad you saw that too. All right. I haven't heard anyone like kind of talk about that stuff. So I was thinking like, am I making too much of it? Like, I don't know, but all right. Let's see. Okay. I've got to trying to just think here for a minute. I'm a little sleepy. Got to figure where I have this stored. Okay. I know. All right. Just give me 1 minute here. Crap. Do I not know where it is? No, that's not it. All right. Hold it. It must be on my desktop. Just 1 second. Oh my God. I have so many freaking videos about. Okay, hold it. Oh, hold it. I got to organize this by date. I don't know. I can't find it. So I'm sorry about that. But, yeah, he does. There's a couple of things that happen there. Just you guys watch it. I'll put it. I don't know. I'll put it. So I'll put it on my channel. I'll upload the relevant parts, just kind of strung together, sometime tomorrow, probably afternoon. And it'll just be Jack at the memorial or whatever. I could definitely do that. I was gonna do something like that anyway. But yeah, the way I don't know. The mom's really like preoccupied with Jack, and there's this moment where he declines speaking and the dad gives him a look, and it's just a moment, but I slowed it down and watched it 5,000 times like Brian, because we're behavioral people, and it's weird. And then that little hug thing at the end. I know, I feel bad for mom too. Yeah, absolutely. Jeez. Esther says, I've seen it and I'm not convinced dad would mean to show any dislike or disrespect for Kylie's former boyfriend. It's like looking at clouds. Yeah. And yes, Esther, that too. Yep. I agree with that. Yep. I know. And it also is just such a, I still have the impression that I have, but it is just also such a small sample of like barely interaction. You know what I mean? Yeah, this is a very good point too. Lala says, I feel like we analyze it till we paralyze it. Yeah, that's true. Oh, copycat murder. Wow, I hadn't even thought of that, Marlena. What are your thoughts on this being copycat? I get the 1990 Gainesville murder vibes. It does have Gainesville murder vibes. Wow, you have a new Watts pick. Damn. We need to see those new Watts picks. Watch the way Jack slowly raises his head and eyes. I know. I picked all that up too. I think we were just, dad was just reflexive. Yep. Yep. Oh my goodness. So, okay, guys. So really, I love chatting with you guys so much. I can't get away, but I do have to go to sleep. But guys, thank you so much for being here. We'll do another live stream on Friday. I'll have several uploads in between. Please let me know if you have anything interesting. You can always email me at wattsobsession@gmail.com. I'll write that in chat. It's not, there's no the in the email address. It's just Watts. Watts. I'm a bad multitasker. Obsession@gmail. Good night, Yarn Man. Thank you so much for everything. And thank you very much, all moderators. Hi, Colby. How are you, sweetie? We're just signing off, but it's nice to see you. So, all right, my friends, much love. Everybody, please stay safe and let's keep working to find justice for Ethan, Xana, Kaylee, Madison, and their families. Take care, guys.